This is English Time, your journey to English success. You are learning the present perfect tense. The present perfect tense is a grammatical tense in English that is used to describe actions or events that have a connection to the present moment and are typically seen as unfinished or ongoing. It is formed by using the auxiliary verb have for subjects like I, you, we, they, or has for subjects like he, she, it, followed by the past participle of a verb. The past participle is the V3 form of a verb. Let's look at some examples. I have studied English for 5 years. She has already visited London. Importance of the present perfect tense. Number 1. Describing experiences. It's commonly used to discuss experiences in a way that highlights their connection to the present. For example, I have been to Paris tells the listener that you have the experience with Paris and this is relevant now. Number 2. Expressing unfinished actions. It is used to express actions or situations that started in the past and continue into the present or are expected to continue in the future. For instance, they have lived here since 2010 indicates that their residence in a place began in 2010 and still continues to this point of time. Number 3. Highlighting recent events. The present perfect is used to indicate that something has happened recently or up to the present moment, as in, she has just finished her homework. Number 4. Emphasizing result. It's also used to emphasize the result or outcome of an action. For example, I have cleaned the house implies that the house is now clean. Number 5. Common in conversational English. The present perfect tense is frequently used in spoken English, making it essential for everyday communication and understanding. Structure of the present perfect tense. Subject pronoun. This is the person or thing that performs the action or is what the sentence is all about. It can be I, you, he, she, it, we, or they. Auxiliary verb have or has. The choice of auxiliary verb depends on the subject pronoun. Have is used with I, you, we, and they. Has is used with he, she, and it. This is followed by the past participle of the verb. The past participle is the third form of the verb. In regular verbs, it often ends in ed. For example, played, studied, worked. In irregular verbs, the past participle comes in unique forms. For instance, go becomes gone, eat becomes eaten, take becomes taken. Let us look at some examples to illustrate the structure. I have studied English for 5 years. Here, the subject pronoun is I, which is first person singular. So this should be followed by the auxiliary verb have. And that comes with the past participle of the verb study, which is studied. I have studied English for 5 years. Another example here. She has already visited London. Subject pronoun is she, auxiliary verb is has, and past participle is visited. One more example here. They have lived in New York since 2010. The subject pronoun is they, auxiliary verb is have, and past participle is lived. One more example. He has learned a new language. The subject pronoun is he, which is third person singular. So that carries the auxiliary verb has. And the past participle of the verb learn is learned. The combination of have or has with the past participle indicates that the action or event described in the sentence has a connection to the present or is relevant to the current situation. It's this structure that allows you to convey the present perfect tense in English, emphasizing the link between past actions and the present. Importance of the present perfect tense. Number 1. Time frame. The present perfect tense is used to express actions or events that have occurred at some point in the past. These actions are not tied to a specific time frame or are intentionally left unspecified regarding when they occurred. Number 2. Unfinished past. What makes the present perfect tense unique is its focus on the unfinished or ongoing nature of past actions or events. It implies that something that began in the past has relevance to the present moment and may continue into the future. Number 3. Connection to the present. The term present perfect itself implies the connection to the present. When using this tense, you're saying that the action or event, although occurring in the past, has an impact or relevance to the present. Some examples to illustrate relevance. Number 1. Experience. I have traveled to several countries. This sentence suggests that your past experiences of traveling to different countries are relevant to the present, perhaps because you can share travel insights or preferences. Number 2. Change over time. She has lost weight. In this example, the focus is on a change in the past, losing weight, that is relevant to the person's current condition. Number 3. Duration. They have been married for 10 years. The duration of their marriage is seen as an ongoing fact in the present. Number 4. Recent events. He has just finished his homework. The use of just emphasizes the recency of the event, making it highly relevant to the present moment. Now let us look at some examples of sentences in the present perfect tense with various time expressions. Number 1. Already. To indicate an action that has happened at some point before now. I have already finished my work. Number 2. Yet. To show that an action is expected to happen or to ask if it has happened up to the present moment. Have you finished your homework yet? Number 3. Since. To specify the starting point of an action that continues into the present. She has lived in this city since 2010. Number 4. For. To indicate the duration of an action up to the present. They have been married for 10 years. Just. To emphasize the recency of an action. He has just arrived at the airport. Number 6. Never. To express that an action has not occurred at any point in the past up to the present. I have never been to Asia. Recently. To suggest that an action has happened not so long ago. She has recently started a new job. Ever. Often used in questions to ask about a person's entire life experience. Have you ever visited Paris? Lately. To discuss actions or events that have been happening in the recent past. She has been working a lot lately. So far. To indicate what has happened up to this point. We have completed 2 chapters of the book so far. Let's do some practice here. Number 1. She blank read 3 novels this month. So the correct sentence should be, she has read 3 novels this month. In this sentence, we use has read because the action of reading 3 novels is relevant to the present month indicating the use of the present perfect tense. And it's has because she is third person singular. Next one, we not visit that museum yet. So the sentence has to be, we have not visited that museum yet. Here, have not visited is used to express that the action of visiting the museum hasn't occurred up to the present moment. Another sentence, they blank live in London for 5 years. So the answer is, they have lived in London for 5 years. Have lived is used to indicate the duration of their stay in London up to the present moment. Number 4, I blank just finish my project. I have just finished my project. Have just finished emphasizes the recency of completing the project. Number 5, he blank never been to Asia. He has never been to Asia. Has never been is used to express that the action of visiting Asia has not happened at any point in the past up to the present. Number 6, have you blank ever tried sushi? Have you ever tried sushi? Have you ever tried is used in a question to ask about someone's life experience, emphasizing that they haven't tried sushi at any point up to the present time. Here are some sentences with blanks for you to fill in. So please pause the video and try to work out the answers. And when you're ready, let's look at the answers. So the answers are, number 1, they have visited that new art gallery. Number 2, I have studied Spanish for 2 years. Number 3, she has finished her novel. Number 4, we have never tried sushi before. Number 5, he has lived in this neighborhood since 2015. Number 6, has your dog eaten its dinner? Number 7, I have just returned from a fantastic vacation. Number 8, they have worked at the same company for 10 years. Number 9, she has not visited her grandparents for a long time. Number 10, have you ever met a celebrity in person? Let us look at some common mistakes and how to avoid them. Number 1, incorrect use of past simple. Learners sometimes mistakenly use the past simple tense when the present perfect tense is more appropriate. For example, they might say, I went to Paris last year, instead of, I have been to Paris. So to avoid this, always distinguish between the past simple and the present perfect tenses. Use the past simple for actions with a specific time frame in the past and the present perfect for actions that are relevant to the present. Number 2, confusion with past continuous. Some learners mix up the present perfect and past continuous tenses. For instance, they might say, I have been studying when he called, when it should be, I was studying when he called. So to avoid this mistake, you understand that the present perfect tense indicates a connection to the present, whereas the past continuous focuses on actions in progress in the past. So pay attention to the timing of the action you want to convey. Number 3, omitting have or has. Learners occasionally forget to use have or has in the construction of the present perfect tense. For instance, they might say, I been to the beach instead of I have been to the beach. So the tip is to always include have or has in the present perfect tense. If you're in doubt, check for the correct form based on the subject of the sentence. It is essential to maintain the structure. Number 4, incorrect placement of time expressions. Using time expressions like yesterday, last week, or in 2010, for example, with the present perfect tense can be a common mistake. For example, Saying I have seen that movie yesterday is incorrect. Time expressions with the present perfect tense should typically be unfinished, like this week, recently, since, or for. So to avoid this, choose time expressions carefully. Use yesterday, last week, or specific past time frames within the past simple tense. With the present perfect, opt for time expressions that connect the action to the present. Number 5. Double past tense. Learners sometimes use both the past simple and present perfect tense in the same sentence. For example, saying I saw that movie last week and I have enjoyed it, when it should be I saw that movie last week and I enjoyed it. So tip is to avoid mixing past tenses within the same sentence. Once you choose the present perfect or past simple for a sentence, stick to that same tense to maintain consistency. Number 6. Misusing yet and already. Yet and already are commonly misused. For instance, saying I have finished my work already instead of have I finished my work already or have I finished my work yet. So the tip is use yet in questions and negatives to indicate an expectation or absence of an action up to the present. Use already in affirmative or positive statements to highlight that an action has occurred earlier than expected. Number 7. Overusing just. Using just too frequently with the present perfect tense can lead to unnatural speech. For example, saying I have just seen that movie and it was just amazing might sound awkward. So to avoid this, use just when you genuinely want to emphasize the recency of an action. Avoid overusing it as it can sound repetitive or redundant in speech. Number 8. Misplacing the adverbs. Misplacing adverbs that modify the verb can lead to confusion. For example, saying I have quickly read the book when it should be I have read the book quickly. So, place adverbs that modify the verb correctly within the sentence. Adverb placement can affect the meaning of the sentence, so be mindful of their position. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please post them in the comments box. Thank you.